Joining us now is Dan Ives, Managing Director at Wedbush Securities. Any talk of going straight to a 14 like they do in some buildings, just because for me, I got married on the 13. It's a very lucky number, but they're going full on with the 13. It could be lucky for Apple, Dan?
I think this is going to be lucky. I think it's just going to continue the super cycle that we've seen from iPhone 12. I mean, everything we're seeing out of Asia, we're looking for anywhere from a 10 to 15% increase just from demand from iPhone 12. And I think this just shows that they're really going into what looks like, so I'll call renaissance of growth at Cupertino, but this growth train at Apple is not slowing down. That's really, I think, the key theme from this iPhone 13 checks.
And you can't, it's not a TV, it doesn't fly, right? You can't really fly around it. It's still just the ecosystem and services that continue to just, I guess 5G is eventually going to be a big boost as well.
Yeah, I think there's a few things going on. I mean, first, 975 million iPhones worldwide. There's still 250 million that have not upgraded their iPhone in 3.5 years, based on our research. So it shows massive pent-up demand. You got 5G now really starting to become more real as we go into this next, call it 12 to 18 months. And then China. I mean, China is going to be about 20% of the upgrades. We're seeing very robust demand there, and that continues to be a key linchpin to the bull story for Apple. It's why, in our opinion, 6 to 9 months from now, we're looking at a $3 trillion market cap for Apple.
Oh, my God. $3 trillion. And it's done that, got through the first trillion and through the second, and then you're talking about 3 now, without that new kind of incremental addition to a product lineup, just with enhancing what they already do and broadening out the Apple ecosystem that we're all, I don't know about everybody, I guess not everyone is totally Apple oriented, but I am, and I do it, I don't look elsewhere for anything. So I'm fully immersed in that ecosystem.
Yeah, it's really that golden install base that they have. And the services business, that's been a big part of the re-rating that we've seen in Apple, especially over the last year. But then into next year, we think Apple Glass gets released, the AR/VR headset. And then, like we've talked about, 2 years after that is the Apple Car. And I think that's one where that's just going to be the next leg to what I view is sort of this ecosystem just further building out. But it just shows this iPhone, many thought growth was in the rearview mirror, and that's why they're continuing to defy the skeptics. That's everything we're seeing out of our checks.
Hey, Dan, I dropped my phone in a pool yesterday, and I've had a little bit of the shakes ever since because my entire life is caught up in that phone. I haven't been able to get it fixed yet. It just reminds me of the stickiness factor or addiction factor, whatever you want to call it. And also, in terms of what they can build on with that, like I have no choice of leaving at this point. Everything in my life is caught up in the Apple cloud. And they're going to be able to charge more and more for that cloud service to make sure that even when I do something stupid like this, I'm able to get it all back eventually.
Look, I mean, you hit on a great point. And, I think what you're seeing more and more is that consumers, they don't switch from iPhones. And actually, you're seeing more Android switchers to iPhones. And it's all part, as Joe talked about, it's a part of that flywheel, from AirPods to the services to backup to Apple Music. And that's what they've been able to do better than any company in the world. But I think the difference is, Becky, is that over the last, call it year and a half, you've really started seeing acceleration on that services, and investors have taken notice. And that service business alone is worth $1.3 trillion. It's a key part of the sum of the parts valuation on Apple.
No chip problems, supply chain problems. They seem to have avoided a lot of those issues as well. Not really sure how, but they're very adept.
Yeah, I think what Cook did, Cook and the team, if you go back, I mean, they were pretty aggressive in terms of their ordering on chips. And of course, they're in the front of the line, just given the amount of units that they're selling. But they were aggressive, and that's really put them in a position of strength. There's still a bit of a headwind from a demand perspective. It's not there, but from a supply, but we think that that's pretty containable. And I don't think that in any way is really going to push or significantly deter what I believe is going to be the super cycle continuing to play out for Apple.